But first, we are joined live in studio by Lincoln High head coach Rob Hawkins, who just said he had a stress-free evening because the Cougars were on their bye week this week. Coming off of a 35-17 victory over Lewis County. Now, we know that all games count the same and every game counts as one, but in terms of playoff picture, that's a very big win for you guys. How important was that victory in getting you to where you ultimately want to be?
Well, it was very important. Obviously, they were ranked 7th at the time, and it's probably one of the teams, if we can continue to win, we'll be competing with for a playoff spot later in the year. And plus, coming off a loss to Bridgeport is important psychologically for our kids to go out there and get a win over a quality opponent. So.
The defensive job you did against Lewis County in that game, up until tonight, that was a season low, points scored by the Minutemen. What did you guys do well defensively against them?
Well, after a couple shaky drives, their first 2 drives, defensively up front, we really played well, and our linebackers started flying to the ball, and kind of our recipe for success all the time. So.
Since the season opener where you guys lost at Braxton 36-27, defense greatly improved. You've only allowed 13.2 points per game since then. Overall on defense, has there been scheme changes, or it's just guys that have stepped up and done well?
Well, after that Braxton game where obviously we didn't play well, we made a couple changes. And scheme-wise, we didn't change much, but we kind of refocused on what we were teaching, how we were teaching it. And that game sort of forced us to maybe change some things we wouldn't have earlier with some of the things we were doing. And the kids have really responded. And defensively, we played really well ever since that night.
Now at 4-2 overall and playing some good football, winning 4 out of 5. Some unknown guys. We show the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs. Who are some guys that maybe we haven't heard a heck of a lot from, but you've gotten a lot out of?
Well, first of all, Brandon Weaver, who has gotten some big carries offensively for us and defensively has played really well. Up front, you can't say enough about the guys up front. Bubba Ellis and Hunter McGarry and Nathan Alvario, Zach Roby, and Jordan Gump. Our front 5, offensively and defensively, they've played great all year. And Kyle Owens, who is a tight end, has had some success there at tight end, but defensively, he's having a tremendous year. And, our receivers are quarterbacks and running backs, that they get their names out there all the time, but nothing can go without those other guys.
You mentioned your quarterback, Kobe Carpenter, a guy that we've been talking about for 3 years now as a junior. In addition to everything he brings in the passing game, he also brings a pretty good element into the run game. He's averaging 9 yards a rush, 4 touchdowns, 285 yards. Is that an area of his game that's expanded this year, or have you seen that in the past couple of years?
Well, he's always had that ability. In the past, I won't say that we've discouraged it, but we've wanted him to stay in there, make his reads and everything. But yeah, he's a tremendous athlete, and he adds a whole new dimension when he gets out and makes plays. And against Lewis County, he did a great job of kind of getting our offense jump-started by making some plays with his feet.
Yep, he was our player of the week this week, and a couple guys that certainly could add to that. Chase Riley and Dustin Marks in the receiving game. To coach those guys, how open can you get your playbook when you've got those 2 guys?
Well, to use a basketball term, we do a good job of sharing the ball. And when you have receivers like Dustin Marks and Chase Riley and Anthony Keller and Kyle Owens and Jonathan Leap, Kobe has a lot of weapons at his disposal. And he does a good job of making reads and getting the ball to the proper person. And that's our goal offensively, is we want to be tough to defend. We want to be tough to prepare for. And luckily, we have that stable of athletes, especially the skill athletes this year, that we're able to open the playbook up and, basically make it tough on other teams to know where the ball's going and what our game plan is.
You mentioned it was a stress-free week. Having the bye week right now in week number 7, what did you use the week for? Obviously, get rested, get healthy, gear up for the stretch run, but what was the most important thing you guys wanted to get out of this week?
Well, we wanted to shore up some things offensively and defensively, and plus some things we really haven't done a lot here. We think with our remaining 4 opponents, defensively there's a couple schemes that we think we're going to have to use in the future, and offensively we wanted to shore up some things in our run game, sort of some things we haven't done yet, but we think here in the last 4 weeks we're going to have to. So it was a great week, a great teaching week for us to get better and get prepared.
The Bridgeport game back in week 5, yes, it was a loss. It was your last loss, but you held them to 24 points, and that's no team except for Wheeling Park has done that so far this year. What did you, even though that was a loss, was that a little bit of a learning experience, and did you guys take some positives from that?
There were definite positives to take from that. You know, they only really drove it on us one time. But, you know, we have to learn. Bridgeport does a great job of not making mistakes that hurt themselves. And we had some turnovers in that game, and special teams, we gave them some good field position at times. So we need to learn from kind of their formula. You know, regardless of how well we played defensively and regardless of how well we played overall, you still can't hurt yourself in any aspect of the game, and field position is so important, especially against a quality opponent like that.
Last 2 years, you're 11-5 in the regular season. How has the confidence level of the team changed over the last year and a half?
Well, it is a different culture than when I took over. You know, that we're getting to the point where we expect to win, and our goals have gotten loftier, and our players have a whole different attitude going into a week. Even the Bridgeport week, you could see them with confidence going into it, and that hasn't always been the case around the program. So we're happy where we're at this point, but we know we have a long way to go. And with the playoff picture in AA, we have to continue to win games.
And it starts next week against Roane County, a squad that you beat last year at their place. What are some of the challenges they present, and how big is this game?
This is obviously a big game. They won again tonight. They're 5-1. So again, a great win for us if we can get it as far as the playoff picture goes. They have one of the leading rushers in AA, Tyler May, coming in. He's an outstanding football player, outstanding runner. So our challenge is we have to figure out a way to slow him down. As
competitive as AA is this year, do you almost have to take the mindset that you may need 7, 8 wins to get into the playoffs?
To be sure to get in, I don't think there's any question it's going to take 8. If we want to assure ourselves a spot in the playoffs, we need to win out. Now, I think that some teams, especially some local teams due to schedule, do have a chance to get in at 7-3. You know, 6 and 4 is over; those days are gone. And there's going to be some teams 7-3 not getting in. So we need to win out if we want to assure ourselves a spot in the playoffs, and that's the challenge that we're going to have to face.
Which would be your second consecutive playoff appearance. While we have you here, can't let you go without asking a question. Of course, you're the girls basketball head coach as well, and I know one season at a time. You want to take things, you know, step by step. But how's that group looking, and the one that you got coming back, and a strong contender for a state tournament appearance again?
Yeah, they've had a fairly good off season. They're working hard right now. Well, not right now, but they're working hard this fall to get ready. And yeah, I've tried not to think of too much about it because I'm enjoying football so much. But once November rolls around, hopefully I'll be overlapping again with both teams, and we'll see how it goes.
That is Lincoln High head football coach, also Lincoln Little League coach as well, and the girls basketball head coach, Rob Hawkins. Coach, very much appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Fifth Quarter Extra, and best of luck as you guys look to get back into the playoffs for the second year in a row. Coming up next, Morgantown High paying a visit to where every team wants to end their season, Wheeling Island Stadium. Fifth Quarter Extra, built by Trinity Homes, continues after this.